put the thing up, so we'll get cracking.
Let's do it.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Very warm welcome to tonight's Lumenswap show. Good evening, Glow. How are you over there in the States?
I'm pretty good. We had daylight savings time, so trying to get adjusted to this time change. Other than that, I'm doing good. What about you?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. We've had a good week. I've been doing a few bits and pieces outside the crypto world, the real life stuff that we do in this last week. So I'm back at it, back at the crypto grindstone this week. So it's been a nice little few days away doing some other stuff. Dablo's in the house. Good evening, Dablo. How are you, mate? Hope you're having a good weekend with the family over there. I'm heading your way actually in a few weeks. Not quite Greece, but Turkey. Get a little bit of sun on my bones. I'm looking a bit pale. So yeah, I'm off to Scotland, and then after Scotland, climbing some mountains, I'm off to Turkey to get a little bit of a suntan. So in tonight's episode, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about anything you guys want to talk about in the crypto world, the Lumenswap world, the Stellarverse, and anything else that you have got. Glow and I will talk generally about things, but if you put a question into the chat, we're going to bring that question up. We're going to talk a little bit about it, give our perspective, and we're going to be getting maybe some different perspectives from the chat. I think that's really what we want to do, is kind of get some other people's ideas so that we can maybe take some of those into this next phase, because we haven't quite got to the DAO yet. We're very, very close, only maybe a couple of days away, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But we're going to be, Lumenswap is going to be launching into the DAO phase of the operation. And then I think these ideas are really good to kind of try and, manifest these, or should I say, incubate these ideas now, so that then when we come to it, those might be proposals and we might be able to direct the project a little bit better. So it's great to have you all with us again this evening. Come and say hello in the comments if you haven't already done so. We have got a usual 1,000 LSP giveaway, so I'm going to put that up. So, Glow, in terms of the wider crypto conversation, you've had some updates, I think, in the States in the past week, haven't you, where the Biden administration is changing a few things with regulation. What's your kind of view on this regulation in the States? Because you guys get hammered, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It seems to me like things are starting to get aligned, at least for the ISO compliant tokens. It seems like they're shying away from the point of work with mining, and it looks like they're looking for green cryptos that are fast and efficient, which XRP and XLM fit the mold perfectly. We've seen previously where Donnell was in front of Congress. We also saw Donnell recently with whoever's in charge of Ukraine as well, and you see what's going on for Ukraine. So it's looking like regulations are coming in. Hopefully they'll be for the best. I would prefer no regulations. I'm all for decentralized, but we see how that goes. It can be a Wild West. So there needs to be some sort of rules. We'll see where that goes. Hopefully they'll be open to working with us, and we can continue to build and grow this industry, because it definitely shows that crypto is a concrete asset class and it's not going anywhere. That's the biggest thing I took away from the executive order. And then also with the Ripple case, it looks like the fair notice was struck down. So it looks like other any crypto company that the SEC tries to go after, they have to go ahead to go and use that fair notice defense.
Oh, so talk us a little bit more about that, because I didn't know about that one and that part.
Yeah, that was one of the big things that the SEC was fighting a Ripple over the fair notice defense, claiming that they didn't have fair notice. Since the judge struck that down, now any project that gets hit can use that defense.
Ah, okay. So that could be like beneficial for crypto projects then, right?
Exactly. But with the executive order, it looks like it's not just going to be the SEC deciding who's the winners and losers. It looks like um, they're going to come together and try to figure this thing out. Hopefully, because I don't think they have many more options, because it looks like the old system's on its last legs.
Yeah, what do you think any questions, guys? Put your questions in the comments, like Q&A session tonight with myself and Glow. So just get your questions in there, or get your points if you're trying to make a point. If you think what we're talking about is nonsense, if you think what we're talking about is good, get those things in the comments there, and then we'll bring those into the conversation. What do you think in terms of like the wider crypto market? Are we now in a bear market? Are we in a bull market with a bear trend? How are we consolidating? Are we ready to go up? Are we going to take another step down? Is Bitcoin going to go into the teens? I heard a lot of people saying they think that it's going to drop through the bottom of 30K, and it's going to take a lot of different projects, as we know, because they're linked to it, down with it. What's your take on it?
Okay, well, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm probably the last person to take financial advice from, but I think we're still in a bull market. I think we're in a downtrend in the bull market. We could, due to geopolitical events, the world's crazy. It's a stage right now, and it looks like we're going into the final acts of whatever the movie is. So it could dip again, but I think in the long run, we know these assets are concrete and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, so I agree, with what you said about the financial advice. Nothing on these shows is ever financial advice, but I think it's good to debate these things, in looking at the market itself. It's matured a lot, hasn't it? It's got a lot of institutional money in it, which it didn't. We were laughing at the pub the other day because we were saying about Jamie Dimon, and his it's North Koreans, murderers, drug dealers, and this kind of thing. If you don't know Jamie Dimon, by the way, he's the main man over at JP Morgan. I think he's the CEO or something, some high-ranking person there. And he was saying this in 2017, and then they start adding more and more Bitcoin onto their books. And you're like, well, what you said was clearly FUD then in 2017, wasn't it? Because you've got polar opposite stance almost to it now. And you've then got these big institutions that are putting a lot of their portfolio into cryptocurrencies, whether that be whether that be Bitcoin or the blue chip ones. They're starting to hedge into them, and they, the way I look at it is they always have a real strong team of people that are into forecasting, people that are looking at trends, people that are looking at all different sorts of movement of markets. And those guys are on like, 6 figures plus income. These are, well-educated, experienced people, traders, and like I say, forecasters, and they're buying. You look at these, and the amount of institutional money is growing, isn't it? In crypto, it's not like it's me and you as retail investors. It's like big players with big budgets to work this stuff out. So I kind of look at that and think, even though the price might not reflect, what we want it to at the moment, there's a lot of plays being made, and a lot of that is, OTC plays, so over the counter, not necessarily coming through centralized exchanges, but they're starting to amass a hell of a lot of cryptocurrency. And that, for me, is a very bullish sign over the mid and the long term. But we might not obviously see that,
You still there, Ben? I think Ben may have cut out.
No, I think I'm here. Still am I?
Okay. Yep. I see it. Yep. You're good now.
Okay, perfect. It says I've got an unstable connection. I'm not sure what's going on there. So we've got a question here about Lumenswap wallets to Stellar services interoperability. Feels very Microsoft versus Apple. is Lumenswap actively working to bring Wallet Connect to this? So nope, it's not. Lumenswap is working very tight with Rabbit. Wallet Connect is a way for us to obviously be able to bring in a mobile users, to Lumenswap. And it's like saying, well, you've got, very much like you say there, Apple and Microsoft, you've got two different projects. You've got those associated with Wallet Connect, and then you've got Rabbit. Rabbit is the partnership that Lumenswap made, the first partnership that Lumenswap made. And Rabbit is looking to bring a decentralized wallet for the Stellar network, both in terms of a desktop, an extension, and a mobile. And that is going to be the solution. And that's going to be here in the middle of the year. So by the time the end of the summer comes, we're going to be looking at Rabbit's full suite of functionalities. And when I say full suite, all of the three that I've just mentioned, they are, a lot of people say, oh, Rabbit, why aren't you posting loads of stuff like on social media and in your community channels and stuff? I'll tell you the reason why that is. The reason why that is Rabbit is a technical project, meaning it's developers coding. They are not marketers. They are not communicators. They are developers. And developers are just developing. They have refracted the code, the Rabbit code. And for those laymen that want in a layman explanation, that basically means they can build on extra aspects to the code that they've got. And the first one that is going to be in a few days' time, the desktop wallet. And this is on the roadmap. They switched it around. So initially, it was going to be mobile and then desktop. They switched it around because it was just a natural progression from extension to desktop, then to go across onto the mobile. So the mobile is the last thing for them in terms of the three development phases. But they haven't got, it's not like they go, woohoo, we've done another 200 lines of code today. It's not, none of us are going to get any benefit from that. So they're just going to wait until they've got the important stages. But Lumenswap and Rabbit is going to be bringing the mobile access, and Lumenswap is going to be brother and sister projects, if you're not already aware of that. Next Lumenswap feature, we've got one from Fergal.
Yeah, hit on something about Wallet Connect. One thing, I've never really liked Wallet Connect, honestly. It's really clunky for me. You have to scan the barcode and then have to go into the Wallet Connect tab and then hit connect. Sometimes it doesn't pop up. And I've never been able to get it to work with Lightmint either. That's one of the main ones I use. I know when Rabbit comes out, you're going to have it set on a wall. You just go to it, it automatically connects. You don't even have to hit the connect button, kind of like MetaMask does on Ethereum. So I think in the long run, that's going to be a better alternative to Wallet Connect anyways.
Yeah, and I think that Rabbit are setting themselves out to be the easiest and the simplest way to connect to SAPs. And those people that don't know what SAPs are, Stellar applications, very much like dApps, right? But obviously on the Stellar network. So, we are talking today actually about how Drift Exchange can integrate Rabbit, so that you would possibly, we haven't got there yet because we don't know the complexities around it, but so that you would have to have certain NFTs or certain tokens in your wallet. When you connect it into Drift Exchange website, it would read that and it would allow you access to certain things according to what you actually had in your Rabbit wallet. We wouldn't be doing it with Wallet Connect. We would be doing it with what we believe is going to be the best all-round solution on the Stellar network, and that's Rabbit. It's clearly not there yet. It's just another extension wallet. But I think when they get that extension and they get that mobile, we're going to be cooking. So when is the next Lumenswap feature? I think it's probably going to be early to mid this week. This coming week. And that will be the DAO feature. We touched a little bit on the DAO. I did think we'll be having the DAO this week. And that's the reason why we didn't have a guest, because I thought we were going to be looking at the DAO today. There hasn't been any complications or setbacks that I know about. So I feel that there will be, a few days' time. I know that Vlad has reached out to all the projects. If you're not aware, 4 projects are going to be on the first wave of the Lumenswap DAO software. We've got Rabbit, we've got Drift Exchange, we've got Lumenswap, and we've got Nuna, or Art Project Nuna. Those are going to be the first 4 for you to be able to check out, and that's going to be happening all 4 simultaneously in the next, I would say, in the next couple of days. Yeah, so that's something for us to be really, really looking forward to.
Loomis also has that 5 days of gifts going on Twitter. I kind of feel like that may be a countdown to the DAO software as well. And make sure to be checking the Twitter for Lumenswap, because for the next couple of days we got giveaways every single day.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some good giveaways happening. We've got some good marketing happening. So there's a new marketing partnership I've just seen that they've started. So that's potentially really, really good for all of us that want to see more people, come into Stellar, more capital, more liquidity on the network, more TVL. Lumenswap and those people at the moment are the ones that are kind of trying to, as best as they can, bring as many people in with all of the different parts of the marketing that they're doing. I think that will only grow. What did you plug much into this South by Southwest, this kind of NFT thing, Glow, in the week? What was going on there?
Yeah, I tuned in a little while for the Twitter Spaces that Sam and Nola did, and it was, and also Frederick was there. He was answering a lot of cool questions about all the cool features coming to Lightman, how the smart contracts are going to work. A lot of exciting stuff. I'm glad that Stellar is going full-fledged with smart contracts. We've talked about this. Vlad said it from the beginning. Turrets isn't the way. It was too centralized. They can't really do much. It's too restricting. So I'm glad they're going full steam. I think that's just going to help projects launch with super cool tokenomics that's only possible with smart contracts. That way, once you buy the token, it can lock a portion to liquidity. It could do a portion to a reward pool. It can do super cool things that you see in other projects. You could do reflections. Yeah, I think a lot of projects are going to want to come and build on Stellar if they're going to have the smart contracts on the layer 1 protocol. I feel like it's just a perfect storm brewing for mass adoption on Stellar Network.
Yeah, I think that, smart contracts are a game changer, aren't they? If we look over on Cosmos ecosystem, you've got Juno, I believe, has just launched, relatively recently, and that's going to be stupidly successful, bringing, smart contract functionalities across there. And I mean, we look at F. It's one of the reasons why it's so popular. You can program, your token to do different things, can't you? Different actions. Your projects can be, whether it's farming, staking, there's lending. There's so many things then that, the variations that you can create. And the smart contracts are a gateway towards that for those people that don't really understand that. What they are essentially is just a set of code, set of behavior that can happen for that crypto. So it's what it can do and what it can't do. That's what these contracts are. There's a long way to go with them, and there's lots of different languages. So if you imagine smart contracts on Ethereum is Solidity, that's the coding language that's used. But then on other networks, you might find that the coding language is C# or something else, right? So this is like having Greek and Italian and Chinese and, different languages essentially. And that's when we are attracting developers to Stellar, one of the things that, I spoke to several developers about is that there isn't this set language that's used on Stellar. Like with ETH, it's smart contracts are in Solidity, right? So you learn Solidity, you can make smart contracts on ETH. But with coding and with building on Stellar at the moment, it's a bit of this and a little bit of that. And I think with smart contracts, it might bring some kind of unification where developers can come in and know how to build and in what languages, rather than it being a little bit kind of a few bits of different things. I think it's called SDKs, isn't it? But I'm not a technical person like that, so I might be wrong. But basically, when I've spoken to developers, they say there's lots of different chunks that you need at the moment, and they want it to be more streamlined. So I hope that smart contracts can certainly do that. What have we got here? What have we got? Jack's put need to prioritize the smart contracts and hurry it up. With these gas prices, when another Tesla lottery? To be quite honest, I think, Tesla lotteries, have they had the desired effect? What do you think, Glo? Do you think that the big lottery prizes on Lumenswap have been like, whoa, everyone from miles around has traveled to Lumenswap to use them? Or do you think they've been a little damp squib?
Yeah, I think they've been a little underwhelming. I think the fact we saw it with the Lucy NFT, they had a lot of people coming in on that. I think a lot of people aren't really trying to go into it, trying to get a car, trying to get a whole bunch. I think it's more about the fun aspect. I think it's funner whenever there's a whole bunch of prizes. You don't know what you're going to get. It's kind of random, and there's more opportunities to win than just one person out of 700,000 people are going to get one prize. I'd really like to see in the next lotteries for multiple prizes, for multiple winners, even for just an NFT, just for putting in a vote. Something like that would be super cool. Just something just for participating, get people used to going in and voting.
Yeah, I think you've brought up a really good point. For me, I think, I've asked Vlad if we can have multiple prize winners, and I think you could do, because you could just have ledger heights, right? So you could just have, like, we've got 5 prizes: ledger height 1, prize 1; ledger height 2, prize 2; ledger height 3, prize 3, so on and so forth. So you could easily do that, and then you would have to have a bit of a workaround maybe on the page, on the lottery page for Lumenswap, and I suppose that's where the coding and development would come in, and it might be a bit of an embuggerance. But I think if the messaging was clear and you were able to change that first box, where it says like board 1, board 2, board 3, if you could change that picture so that, lottery prize 1 done, and then it might be 3 days later lottery prize 2, that kind of thing, and then lottery prize 3, so there was some time. I think you probably could have one lottery series with a variety of different prizes using the existing software. But you could have, like you say, NFTs, or you could even have like the partner projects, whether it be Action Token, whether it be Drift, whether it be Rabbit, whether it be JPEG, whoever, they could provide a prize, couldn't they? And they could provide a prize, and they get some promotion around it, that they're providing a prize to the lottery. And then their community is likely to come and use, the lottery and buy some LSP tickets for that lottery as well. So I think it could be used, in a variety of different ways. But to answer your question there, it's unsustainable. With the current amount of people that are in Stellar and that are willing to buy lottery tickets, it's unsustainable. You can't give away 100,000 in XLM. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? I'll tell you where it's coming from. It's coming from LSP tokens. If you're giving away $100,000 in XLM, that's getting swapped out from LSP tokens. Guess what? If you're selling $100,000 worth of LSP for XLM, you're going to have a price impact based on that, right? And that's not going to be liked by a lot of the community. They're going to go, woohoo, like, we've got this lottery. But it was underwhelming. 130,000 tickets was sold, I think, for the first one. $100,000 prize and 130. It worked out that it was about, I don't know, maybe $90,000 upside down. So Lumenswap had to front $90,000, and we only raised $10,000 from the lottery. That's not sustainable, is it? It would be fine if we had, the communities of terror, or the communities of Eth, or, thousands and thousands of people aware of this lottery, and everyone was coming in. But the whole idea of a lottery is that it's sustainable, and the prizes should only be reflective of the funds that are raised. It shouldn't be that Lumenswap are going, oh, here's another 100,000, because us investors are going, hang on a second. That means that you're going to be selling out more LSP tokens to get more prizes. Don't necessarily agree with it. What do you think in the comments? Give me your thoughts. Do you think we should be providing these big hitting prizes without them being sustainable? One-off, maybe 2 of these a year? Do you think we should be cutting back and only giving prizes that are reflective of the tickets that are sold. What do you guys think? Let me know. Yield-bearing NFTs. Let's have a look. Yield-bearing NFTs, week-long, keeps the attention of the lottery. So yield-bearing NFTs, so like a holding reward, right? For an NFT, something like that they're doing with the Lucy's. Is that what you mean, Renegade? I think that there's something definitely in that. However, there's also complications around these kind of yield-bearing NFTs being bonds. You guys in the States need to be really mindful because they become financial tools, right? And then if you start looking at bonds and financial tools, you could be right in the shit with any of the regulatory bodies over there, because I know that it's funky in the States, isn't it? So maybe with us in the Europe, we could do that. But yeah, just be mindful if you're doing stuff like that, that you're, fully anon and, all the rest of it. But it's a good idea. I like it. What have we got here? Bottoms up. Yesterday, before Sam and my space, I sat in a space hosted by Ripple itself, live from South by Southwest, with XRPL Punks and Mint NFT. 400 plus attendees. It was great to see Ripple supporting its project. Ooh, I see where you're going with this one, Nola. Ripple supporting its projects. And Glow, Stella, supporting its projects. Thoughts?
Well, I think they pick and choose which ones they do support. I've seen some that they don't support that gets attacked by them as well. So you got to pick your poison with that one.
Yeah, and I think that. But I mean, I saw that document the other day, right? I can't think which one it was now. It's an official Stellar document. And it was like these, kind of different areas that were listed with all the funding. It was like stupid amounts, wasn't it? Like 6 billion XLM and, all these kind of crazy amounts where you thought, wow, that's just a staggering amount of funding. They've got these different areas. And then like next to it was kind of like, this is the amount we have, this is the amount we've used. And it was, a handful of XLM that they've actually put into anything to date, not very much. And then I was thinking, wouldn't it be really super cool if they just went, oh, we're going to stop being professor-like with our brown corduroys and we're really being sensible and we're being, super down the line. And we just go crazy and we go, here's $50 million in XLM that we're going to give to our projects, to really kick some ass. Do you think that we could see an explosion of people on the Stellar Network?
Oh, yeah. I think definitely if they supported, they gave liquidity rewards, they did something to incentivize, which I think we're starting to see it. With the XLM hackathon, it looked like they gave some XLM to artists, which is great. I love seeing that. So hopefully we're turning a corner to where they're going to be supporting XLM projects as well. But I would like to see them support more XLM projects, because that's the power of XLM is in the projects. It's not in XLM itself, in my opinion.
The lottery utilizing like something like Extreme Crew Game or X Racers would be interesting. It would be, and also flipping that round so that allowing access to third-party projects to use the lottery. If Lumenswap were like, well, we haven't actually got anything for you for the next 3 weeks, and then we were like, oh, well, Drift Exchange have. We would like to put, a membership of the Extreme Crew up for lottery and give that opportunity to our community to be able to buy tickets in Drift, for using the lottery. And then Lumenswap kind of flipped it. So went, well, okay, you can use it, but it's going to cost you whatever it might be to use the lottery. Great, here you go. We'll give you some tokens. Then they can give them away as, giveaways, or they can turn them into LSP, or we can buy some LSP. And, to go on a tangent on that, we've had to pay to have the DAO Drift Exchange. And I think that's a good thing. So as Jack has put here, what we could do is take that, what we've paid from Lumenswap side now, take that in, and then we could say, right, we're going to give this that we've used we've collected from the DAO, and we are going to provide it in some sort of giveaway or lottery or whatever. So there's a couple of ways of looking at that. I like it.
I like that idea too. Just like how Lumenswap's looked at making the NFT marketplace public, where anybody can mint. That would be a cool idea if they could do some sort of functionality into the auction to make somebody have to put up something, then they can use the auction. I think that would definitely be a cool utility.
Yeah, all of the things that they're building, I think, are going to be multifaceted, right? Where they're going to be able to, we're going to add this on or increase the functionality of this and do that. And I think there's going to be a lot, especially when we start getting into maybe like lending. I would think I don't know how it would work, but you know, with like lending protocols, it would be good if projects could actually do something in relation to having open source where they could use their assets and then you could borrow back against them. You know, the way that you can do on other protocols, right? Where you can obviously put down your collateral and then borrow against them because you don't want to sell your tokens. Wouldn't it be good if there's like an open source way that a project could plug into that without having to develop that? And they could say, right, you can like, you know, get a return on your tokens here in Lumenswap by locking in some collateral and borrowing against it. I think that would be something, you know, funky and fresh for the future, rather than it just being one token and a way to lend. You know, having different percentages according to the asset risk, maybe, or something, and that fluctuates. Could be something for the future. Who knows?
I like that. And that comes into the unity and the strength in numbers with the projects getting together to work towards a common goal. So I'd love to see something like that come into fruition as well. Another thing, with all of these products that Lumenswap is putting out, we're still in the infancy. We don't even have all the projects out yet. And we've seen projects like the NFT marketplace that weren't even on the roadmap that came out. And I'm sure once we get the core projects, the DAO, lending, borrowing, then we got the best devs on Stellar Network. So I'm sure we're going to get a lot more cool stuff, and they're going to continue to keep building on it.
Yeah, I just think Lumenswap are just a different league, aren't they? I look at other projects, and I'm not here. I've never been here to run, you know, or to knock down anyone else's skyscrapers. I want it to be a city. I remember going out to Colombo in Sri Lanka, and they were reclaiming a huge area of the sea, and they were going to build all skyscrapers, and the Chinese were there, and they were going to make it like almost a Singapore, a financial hub. I don't know whether they did. I've not been back since, but they were reclaiming this huge area. And I think that that's what we should be doing on Stellar. We should be, you know, building out the foundations, reclaiming the area, and everyone building their skyscrapers and not knocking each other's skyscrapers down into the sea. Everyone building their own skyscraper and trying to help each other with the resources to build those skyscrapers. And I think, you know, Lumenswap are like, you know, kind of trying to do a whole host of different things in bringing solutions and bringing tools that I think many projects in the future are going to be able to plug into, whether it is the lottery, like we said. I mean, Dablo just put up there, you know, when is the open source kind of NFT marketplace, which is another one, right? You know, this is another topic, a hot topic conversation. NFTs on Stellar's hot anyway, but it's a hot topic conversation when Lumenswap do Q3 is your answer you're looking for. That's when they are penciling that in. They've got a really busy developmental year, but the jungle drums have been passed to me in the smoke signals, and I've seen the clouds, and they say Q3. So that's when they're looking at doing that, which I think, again, is going to be super exciting. We've got the DAO now. You know, down the road, we're going to be having the bridge and the ability to move assets into Stellar. And then we're going to be having, you know, where artists can choose. They can put some artwork on Lightmint and some artwork on Lumenswap. Lumenswap, you know, I don't know how they're going to navigate the decentralized nature of that, because I think you've got copyright issues, haven't you, straight away. If you're decentralized and you can just mint anything, you're going to get like a wild west of people like, woohoo, let's steal some Disney. Off we go. And that's it. You're going to get yourself into a right pickle. But I'm sure that they will try and navigate something which will do. But then you're bringing in some sort of filtration, aren't you? Tough. That's a tough one. But I still think they can do it. We've got loads of stuff coming in. I'll keep it coming in, guys. Keep it coming in. So we've got RD, Rick. How you doing, Rick? I hope the week's been good with the flooring and the woodwork. Stella is so focused on the payment space, they're missing the boat on so much. Yeah, I do get that. I also get that feeling that there's a bit of a mixed message, if I'm honest. Cross-border payment network, super fast, scalable. That's what I thought I was coming into back in last summer. Now, I'm not so sure what Stella actually is doing. Is it going to be an all singing, all dancing, another Avalanche, Solana, Terra ecosystem, Ethereum? Is it going to be one with smart contracts and all different sorts of features and functionalities? Or is it staying in its lane? And it's just going to do that, what it tended to do. It seems as though it's changing lanes, doesn't it? And we're going to start seeing all this other cool stuff. Glow, do you think we're changing lanes and we're going to start incorporating more cool stuff, or it's still going to be majority payments?
I think right now it seems to me Stellar's prioritizing the payments because that's the major issue going on right now in the financial sector. I think once that is out of the way, I think we're going to see more developments. And we have been seeing the AMMs and the smart contracts, and we've been seeing them building. Would like to see them pick up the speed. Would also like to see them marketing. But we've learned that marketing isn't the easiest thing to do in this space because it's really hard to define how to market in crypto. But I think the tides are starting to turn. I think I think in a couple of months we're going to start seeing them start to sway more from the payments space and go more in towards the developmental space and the marketing. At least I hope.
Yeah. I think that what we've got here. Did I go for Nola's one? Stella needs to get on the ball with giving more support, or heck, even acknowledgement to its projects. Without them, Stella would be a bore. Keep bugging them, folks. Yeah, okay. I think we're all singing the same hymn on this show, and it's not just a Lumenswap hymn. As I said before about not knocking down other. There's a lot of projects out there that are really cool that are working hard. I mean, Brian, who we had on a few weeks ago at JPEG, is just one. They've got so many cool people, Arnob and Jack and Brian and Lemon, and I could go on. And of course, Heather doing the law. They've got a lot of cool people there. And it would be really nice if we could start seeing some inward focus, some involvement in conversations. I know it was... G's not on today, I don't think, but G was saying in the Lumens, many threads this morning that, he put a Twitter post that he had done, and he just tagged a few people and a few projects, I think, in there. And, he's banged the drum a long time as well for getting that inward conversation, even if nothing comes of it, but just for Stella to say, okay, these are what we deem as our top 20 projects. You each bring an ambassador for the project into a conversation. Let's talk. Let's just have a Zoom call. Let's have a conversation, how we can, for what our goals and dreams and aspirations are as Stellar Network, what you guys need from us. Let's have a conversation. Let's just have a conversation on a call. You could stay on behind the screen. You can put whoever you want to represent that project. It's your choice. But let's like have an open dialogue. And I think that would be really interesting if they actually decided that they were going to do that. But maybe with, like you said, the funding for these NFT artists and some stuff that they're starting to do, maybe they are starting to listen. I really hope that they are. Let's have a look down here.
I think I want to add, Sundays are starting to really be my favorite day with these the Drift and the Interstellar LP rewards coming in on Sundays now. I'm liking those lump sum payments coming in.
Yeah, I think that it's trying to find a balance, isn't it? I mean, I've just finished the someone, by the way, is going to have the best Sunday. Cuz I'll just digress as always, but I will just take a little right turn here. For one of the things we wanted to do is mix things up and mix things down and keep changing some of the things that we've got for the community at Drift Exchange. And one of those was this month to celebrate our first month with Interstellar, our partnership with Interstellar, and that liquidity pool. We wanted to bring a nice secret boost, right, to one of those LP providers. Someone has had a switch happen today. We talked about it in the week and we said, okay, we're going to bring this funky thing into being. What we did was, rather than reward the person in Drift from our side, we switched and we rewarded the person in XLM. So we had a random picker. We picked one of the wallets in that pool, and that wallet didn't get any Drift today, but they got the same value as what they would get in Drift in XLM. So someone is going to be like buzzing their ass off, yeah, if they're in that pool, because that is a nice, cheeky little windfall to have on a Sunday afternoon. It's not going to be something we always do or regularly do, but it was just us going, we're really appreciative of the people that are providing liquidity into the Drift IXX pool. And one of you has just received a fantastic bonus. And I want to say a big thanks to Phil for actioning that and making that happen for us. So yeah, it's a really cool thing. And I agree with you. I much prefer to have that weekly payday where I get my, oh, great, I've got my, week's worth of LP rewards in one. Because it always seems nice, doesn't it, when you get a nice chunk and you've only got to wait until a Sunday. I love Lumenswap because of the monthly, but it's a long bloody time, isn't it, to wait a month before you get your kickback.
Yeah, I agree. It helps keep liquidity in there. A lot of people bounce in and out of liquidity pools, especially if they don't get it on the daily. I like in on the daily, but at the same time, I don't like having to check to make sure it went through, because we know with the coding involved and the Amazon Web Services, sometimes there's errors, gets to some people, it doesn't get to other people. So with it being once a week, Sundays you check, make sure that you got your weekly reward. So, and it's better than the monthly. And the monthly is good for Lumenswap, but I like the weekly's a nice balance in between.
Yeah, and you've got the different balances, haven't you? You've got like the Nooner doing daily, and hourly, isn't it? Hourly, and you've got the Aqua, of course, and then you've got Drift doing weekly with Interstellar, and then you've got Lumenswap doing monthly with Rabbit. So we've got a nice balance depending on what you want. Whether you're patient, whether you're impatient, you can go to different pools and you can get rewards. Going back to the comments here, we've got Mint. Great show today. I really enjoyed having Debbie on the Mint show. She's a real legend, isn't she? She's turned into her and Nola are lighting the place up with their contributions. Along with
other women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really, really, it's empowering for us. I mean, we've had a conversation the week with Nola about getting some of her artwork into the hands of the Drift Exchange Massive. And she's waiting for a few things to evolve within Lightmint, but we've said we want to put our focus into the people that are helping Drift Exchange, her being one of them. So having that female presence is brilliant, and Debbie, of course, and many others. But also we've just got someone signed up who's 8 years old, right? And we were like, whoa, this is amazing. We found one of our community at Drift Exchange has found an abstract artist, and some of the stuff's really, really nice and a lot very different, but really, really cool. And then they are currently on Tezos, so they're on the Tezos network, and we're bringing them across to Stellar and going to start showcasing some of their artwork as well. But then they've got the son who's 8, and the son does NFTs, and they're pretty rad as well. So we've got Nola being in the women's camp. We've got the kids camp. We've got cross chain. We've got so much coming from Drift Exchange, guys. If you're not plugged into that, ensure you do, because there's lots coming down the path.
I like the diversiveness in the collections, coming from different chains, coming from different backgrounds, different art styles. That's, to me, that's what art's about. Something that I like, you may not like, but it's all in the eye of the beholder. I mean, art is subjective, in my opinion, and I like that Drift is starting to go outside a box, outside of regular stellar artists, outside the regular artwork, and there's a little bit of variety coming in. It's nice to see.
Now this I like, a multiplier giveaway tied to the amount of LSP you hold. The more you have, the longer you hold, the bigger your multiplier. That is brilliant. I like it. So you essentially are rewarded for amassing and holding. I think there might be something in the line in the plans of Vlad. I have said to him, you know, a holding, a staking, a single staking reward for a certain amount, I think is a really, really solid idea. Rather than, you know, at the moment, what we've got is we've got a pool of people with more than 10,000 tokens, right? So let's just say there's 1,000 wallets for argument's sake. You've got 1,000 wallets that have got more than 10,000 LSP in. So these 1,000 people every month get to share 3.25 million, I believe it is. 3.25 million tokens shared amongst them. So they go into these wallets, they're kept in these wallets, and then those wallets go up. 3.25 million tokens again goes into that pool, and so on and so forth. So those people, those wallets are growing and growing, meaning the percentage is dropping because you've still got the same 3.25 million shared amongst them wallets. So the percentage is going to actually drop over a period of time. Now, wouldn't it be cool if you got, say, like last month, I think it was 1.4% return on your tokens. So it's still a really healthy return. But wouldn't it be cool if you could have a fixed return on your tokens? So you could have different amounts of percentage return according to timeframes. So if you had 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, and you just locked your tokens, so you essentially sent them into a smart contract. Yeah, we haven't got them yet, but if you sent them into a smart contract, those tokens would then be released by the smart contract after a set period of time, including the interest that they had accrued. So you couldn't get to them. They were in a vesting contract. Yeah, I think that's something that could be really powerful when we see smart contracts arrive on Stellar. So I like that idea, Michelle. Thank you very much. About multipliers as well on lotteries and amount you hold. Yeah.
Interstellar actually has a staking cards, which are pretty cool with how they do the vesting as well. But I'd like to see Lumenswap do it a little bit different. Hopefully when smart contracts come, or with the DAO, I mean, somebody can make that proposition as well. I'm interested to see all the propositions that are going to come in as soon as it launches. Because I definitely have a stack of Lumenswap saved up to put towards good ideas.
Yeah. You know, I think there's projects now are coming to the table with so many cool ideas. It's only going to take a couple, isn't it, to really get traction, and then a lot of others are going to follow. And one of the things we were talking about in the Mint show was this lockable content now that's available on Lightmint. I think, to me, that, you know, I'm interested in games, I'm interested in engagement marketing, all that sort of stuff. And I think for me to be able to hide something behind an NFT, you know, that opens a whole world of opportunity, doesn't it? Because it can be a link, it can be a video, it can be a, you know, a QR code picture, it can be so many different things that you hide behind that no one knows until they've bought the NFT. And you can do lucky dips behind there. You can do a selection. So it could be that you do 10. I can't tell you. Can I tell you? No, I can't tell you. But we're doing something next month with Drift Exchange where there's going to be a selection of choices. And inside those choices will be a selection of prizes. So like a proper, you know, the lucky dips, did you used to have them in the States where you put your hand in and it's all straw inside and you feel a prize and your kids pull it out and you get that. And then sometimes it's like, oh, this is really crap. And other times like, oh, that's really cool. So that kind of thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to affect the Extreme crew as well, because you can do a lot of innovative stuff with that unlockable content.
One of the things that I can tell you is that I'm planning with the Extreme crew, which should be quite interesting, is a fixed boxing fight. Right. So back in the 20s, there was a world champion boxer called Jack Dempsey. And Jack Dempsey was rumored to fall down a couple of times in fixed fights for the mob at certain times. And his opponents were rumored to fall down in certain rounds as well. So it would be cool if you had a 10 or 12 round boxing match that had a reward associated with one round that then was multiplied by the rounds that they fell down in. So if you get me, so you have like a 1 in 10 or 1 in 12 chance of picking the right one, and the multiplier being attached to that round. So something I'm working on at the moment, but I think could be fun.
That'd be cool if you could get like specific NFTs for different fighters as well. Have your own fighter NFTs in there. There's it's endless what you can create. So you can create pretty much anything your mind comes up with, honestly.
At this present moment in time, Andrew Dixon is doing this. Oh, no, not more.
No
more ideas, Ben. Stop. I can't take it anymore. But no, I think that would be quite a cool thing. And yeah, like you say, you could have, the old kind of almost gypsy bare knuckle fight, as it used to be back in the days. Get your dukes up kind of thing with the kind of white vests and kind of leather gloves. I can see it now. I can see it, but I won't let too much out of the bags. It might not manifest into anything. Okay, what have we got? Ben's funky thing. What was that funky fun? I can't even remember what I said now. As an LSP holder, excited for the project, but why do they keep calling themselves a decentralized exchange? Are they? Espresso 100? Yeah, 1030, sorry. No, they're not. And I've said this to them. I said, look, why? It's not that they keep doing it. It's they don't keep doing it. They create a website. And if you have a look at, I think it's Nice Trade and another one, a lot of these clients are calling themselves decentralized exchanges. Of course they're not, because it's built into the Stellar network. They're an access point. I give the analogy, and I've given it many times before, and I keep giving it. Think of the Mississippi River or any big, long river, and then you've got bushes along the side, and then you've got jetties. And the jetties are your access point. The Stellar network is the DEX. Right, is the river. So the Stellar DEX is the river. And then the access points are your Stellar Term, your Lumenswap, your Nice Trade, your Stellar X. Yeah, they're the jetties. They allow you to access to go and do your operations on the river, but they're not the river. Very different. And this is what a lot of people struggle with. On other networks, PancakeSwap is the DEX. Binance Smart Chain, as it used to be called, I think, is it Binance Chain now? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's recently changed, but that's not the DEX. That's the that's the blockchain. And then PancakeSwap is the DEX. Uniswap is on top of Ethereum. Not the case with Lumenswap. Lumenswap is just an access point to the DEX. Yeah. I hope that kind of makes sense. It's just a tool to allow you to do things on the network. A lot of this is built into the network, you see. Okay, and that's how it works. So even though it says it, and you go, why does it say on the website then? I don't know. And I've said to them, you've got to change the word in here. You've got to change the word in so that it actually reflects what they are. But they're going to be upgrading the website. So there's going to be a whole different branding and website upgrade and everything. Not in terms of the cleanliness and the UI of doing a swap, but the actual website when we land on the lumenswap.io, it looks a little bit naff now. It's a little bit dated already. It needs to sharpen up and it needs to be brought up to speed. They'll be doing that in the next few months. Have no fear. Do we know? I was hoping you would expand on my train of thought. Michelle has said. I think. With regard to, I'm going back. What did Michelle say? Multiplier given away.
Multiplier.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think multipliers could work. If you want me to expand on your idea, how could that work? Well, if you've got 10,000 in your wallet and you hold it for a month, then you get an amount. Let's just say 100 tokens. You've got 10,000 and you keep it for 2 months, you get 150. If you keep it for 3, you get 200. You keep it for 4, blah, you get the idea, right? So anyone that wants me to explain that, a multiplier would be if you keep it longer, you get more. And it may be if you attain a certain level, you get more as well. So not just the 10,000 basic level, like we've tried to do at Drift Exchange with the 3 tiers. I think that could be something that Lumenswap maybe look at doing in the future. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, moving on. Mint kind of reminds me of Moonpot. Anyone heard of that before? It's a BSC project. No, I haven't. More work. He's put here. Wait, did you tell me the other day not to give you any more ideas? Yes. Bring it on, educator. Excellent. What's the funky thing? Carlos, I like the multiplier idea. Right, okay. I think we're up to date, which means that we should do our giveaway of 1,000 LSP while you dudes think of more ideas. One thing Rick has just said is that there's lots going on behind the scenes at Stellar. Biggest takeaways for me with the platform from 2021 was Lumenswap and NFTs. And that deserves more attention than what they get. Yeah, I think we're going and confirming what we're all talking about, which for me, I said onto the Mint Show, and I want to just double down on what I said. 2 biggest areas that I think we can really leverage in marketing for me, and I know that some people are going to say philanthropy and that kind of aspect, which is massive. I think charity and giving is always huge. So I'm leaning away towards women and the promotion of minority groups on Stellar. I think that can be a real, a big draw, right, across the world. I think especially in developing nations. I think if we can build good, strong relationships with, developing nations and how they can create micro economies with by using the Stellar Ledger in a variety of ways. Yeah, maybe getting loans for their entrepreneurial products or whatever they wanted to set up. Maybe that they're particularly artistic or other things. Maybe they want to record ownership. Who knows? There's a variety of different ways they can do that. But so the minority groups and women heading that up. Yeah, that's one. And then of course the NFTs and the gaming, specifically the gaming side of that, because we have got the ability to go NFT multi-mint lockable content. Those 3 things combined together for me can catapult Stellar NFTs to the stratosphere, because I don't know what other networks allow you to do those 3 things in unison. I know you can do NFTs. I know you can do, multi-mints. And I don't know you can do lockable content.
I've never seen unlockable content on any other chain. It could be possible, but I've never seen it. To me, that's revolutionary. I want to give a shout out to Frederick at Mint for making that happen, because that is a really cool idea. And it was out of nowhere. It just came and it works. So shout out to them.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that they're doing. I mean, I had a little spat, I suppose, with them about this when I used to be able to just directly connect Freighter and Rabbit straight in. And I didn't really like, what they did as the first instance, which was like this kind of Facebook and Google Connect. I didn't like the centralized aspect of that, and it tying back into like your kind of platforms I don't necessarily see eye to eye with. So I didn't. But now, of course, you can go in with a variety of different ways. So they've upgraded that as well to keep it decentralized, which is great. And I look and I mean I've looked and I have. I mean, I spoke to you just recently about what's the best NFT marketplaces on a host of different networks that you know about. And I've gone and looked, mate, and I'm like, I ain't really keen on this. I think a lot of them are really crap. You know, these other NFT very, very basic, aren't they? Really super kind of almost if it's been made by like Johnny Age 3. You know, it's kind of like, what can we just throw together and, you know, kind of get it to work. And yeah, I think when you look at Lightmint, like hats off to them. Hats off to them because they have really bolted nice pieces on as they've gone down the track. And a lot of it is really, really helpful to the community, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah, a lot of the ones on other chains are mostly copy and paste, and they're really clunky. They don't really work. There's a lot of copyrighted stuff. They don't really have a good authentication system. For Lightman, I think the biggest thing that they can expand on in 2022 is mobile support. I think if they had mobile support, it will be game over for them. But other than that, they're doing a really good job in comparison to other networks. I know the market is still in its infancy, but it does its job. That's all you can really ask for at this point.
Yeah. I'm singing the same hymn. It does. It absolutely. You know, we are. Some days I get like frustrated. God, I'm so frustrated that we're not another 18 months down the track, you know, with marketing and with evolution and everything. And then I think, oh, well, the way that some tools are going, and like I said, these, you know, the kind of groups that are now growing and, you know, empower on the network and the NFTs and the projects, and I get to talk to some really cool people on a daily basis. I think, oh, there's definitely fuel to be put on the small fire for it to be an inferno. It's just going to take us, it's going to take, you know, time, and it's going to take us to invest energy, isn't it? You know, it's going to, every day we're going to kind of be thinking, okay, how do we make something better? How do we do more engagement? How do we bring another level to this project? And eventually we will get there, but it's going to take us to invest a lot of time and energy. And yeah, to see the rewards. Okay, dudes, let's go. Let's head off to our screen share and give away 1,000 LSP to someone. Lumenswap for the win is what you needed to write. If you haven't done it, quickly get it in, because I'm going to be doing this momentarily. So let's share. We've got 25 entries. Lumenswap for the win. Here you go. Let's see who wins today.
Who's going to get it? Let's go.
Jason, well done. It's a new winner. I don't think we've ever had you win before. So, Jason, if you hit me up on Twitter, Bullring Crypto on Twitter, and just say, hey, or, you know, it's me, I won, or whatever you want to do. And then I'll get your Stellar address. I'll pass it on to Vlad, and Vlad will then send you 1,000 LSP tokens from Lumenswap. I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it, and you know, I think that this show, I am being biased. I think this show has a chance of really bringing the best people to the masses, because of course we can share this on Twitter and we can share it across YouTube and so on. You know, the best people on Stellar as they pop up, you know, whether it be artists, whether it be innovators. You know, we had Nor, didn't we, that was crushing it. Respect Nor, by the way. Yes. You know, we had a lot of really cool people that have been on the show up to now. And I think this year we can have another whole host of really, you know, innovative, you know, forward-thinking people. And it only takes a couple of them to come up with ideas and bounce around on this show. And that can be a real catalyst for change and exponentially increase the rate of people coming into the networks. It only takes a couple of ideas that stick, doesn't it?
I think it's all about planting seeds. We're seeing a lot of new people come onto the network. They're starting to watch our shows. They're starting to get more educated on what's going on the Stellar ecosystem. And we're essentially making super soldiers that are gonna help the cause, that are gonna help get Stellar to where it needs to be. So I'm glad to see new people winning stuff like this. Jason, dude, I like the beard, dude. That's sick. So I think that Stellar's going in the right direction. We just got to zoom out. It doesn't Rome wasn't built overnight. So we're blessed to be in a situation where we're transitioning to this new digital economy. And it's fun to see where it's going. Even if everything doesn't happen exactly when we want it to happen, we see the direction we're going, and it's looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, I think you've summarized everything well enough. I don't need to say anything else. So, everyone, thank you very much. As I did say last week, next week we should be talking about the Lumenswap DAO and the 4 projects. What I think would be interesting is I will try to at least get a representative of 2 of the 4, because I represent Lumenswap and I can speak on behalf of Rabbit. So we'll try and get someone from Drift, maybe get Phil if we can grab him, and someone from Nuna to come and talk on that show, and to have a little backwards and forwards about what they think the DAO is going to be able to do for their projects. But we're going to wait for that convo until such a time as we've got it live, right? So next week, again, I won't book anything in just in case we're going to get the DAOs live. If they're not live, you've got us again. Woohoo! Rock and roll. You've got us again next week. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy your Sundays, whatever you're up to, and we'll catch you again same time, same place, here on YouTube and Twitter for the Lumenswap Show next Sunday. Take care.
Peace.